And then because I can't taste, I have been like overdoing it on like hot sauce and stuff just to feel something in my mouth. So I decided to get some like jalapeno chips in hopes that maybe like, I don't know, the crunch will be satisfying.
There is nothing good about this at all. Nothing.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We are going to be talking about our co-host, Amberlynn Reid, today. It's been a while since we have talked about Amberlynn Reid. So before we get into it, I do want to explain. Currently right now, what's going on in the world of ALR is there are two timelines, which is the way that I like to kind of explain this. So the first timeline is the things that we talk about mostly on this channel for the most part, which are the videos that are being uploaded. Now, Amberlynn is very proud of this schedule that she has right now, which is basically she is recording these videos about 2 weeks-ish in advance and uploading them, chronologically over time. But that means that she's kind of filming 2 weeks in advance and then she's uploading these videos over time, and they're about 2 weeks behind. So the videos that we're going to be talking about today, those are them. But there is also the live stream timeline, which obviously the name suggests is happening currently, right? Because Amberlynn, recently, I think she's had about 5 different members only live streams where, she has gotten YouTube members where those people are the only ones that are able to access these live streams. And these live streams take place, I think it's about once a week. And she goes over questions and things like that. And so we are going to be talking about the live streams to an extent at the end of this video. I just know those of you that are more tuned into the Gorl world ALR stuff are probably going to be like, well, this is kind of old news now because we know what's going on with the live streams. So I just want to make that clear. But before we get into the live streams, let's go over these videos. So the last time we talked about Amberlynn was this video right here, Lying to You All, where she was basically just going over one of her early videos about all of the lies that she has told. It was a good time. I suggest you watch it. But there have been a couple things that have happened since then. The most important thing is this one right here. Obviously, she says, "I will never talk about my love life again," which I think a lot of people have speculated that they feel that's because there's been, there's a new kind of love interest that Amberlynn is talking to that she doesn't want to mention, but that's besides the point. And then, obviously, and watch me get the vid for the first time ever. And the past couple videos since then have been talking a lot about that experience. It says right here, my experience having the vid for the first time at 500 pounds vlog, right? And then this most recent video, which is the one that we were going to be talking about today, is titled, I had to go to the hospital and starting a meal service, and then the vid chronicles vlog. So this is the video that we're going to be talking about. This video was just uploaded about a few hours ago as I'm recording this. So without further ado, let's get into it. Really quick, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Legion for sponsoring today's video. I've been working with Legion for a few months and I really enjoy their supplements. The few favorites of mine are going to be the protein powder, the pre-workout, as well as the different protein like snacks. So they have protein cookies as well as protein bars. I am actually all out of protein bars because I've eaten them all already. What I really enjoy about Legion is everything is clinically dosed and it's all backed by science. And so a lot of the information on their website is really useful if you're someone that hasn't really tried out supplements. And they're also very upfront about what supplements can do for you. They're not magic or anything like that. You obviously have to put in the work. But if you are someone that is curious about supplements, Legion is a really good choice. So if you are interested in trying out supplements for yourself, please feel free to use Legion. If you use my code O2B, you'll get 20% off of your first order. So if you just go to the website and use that code, it obviously helps me out and you will get a discount on some really, really good supplements that I genuinely would recommend regardless of if I was working with them or not. So again, that code is O2B and you will get 20% off your first order. Again, thank you to Legion for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it.
Hey guys, so it is February 13th.
So again, like I said, this is clearly quite old now, right? February 13th is when this video is starting.
And I just got done filming a 2-hour reaction to a video. So if you guys have not seen that, then it's because I decided I'm not uploading it. It was really hard to do and I don't know. It was just a lot. Whew, I just let out the biggest cough and I think it might have fixed my voice a little bit. So I am on day 5 of COVID and I have no smell at all, like at all, no taste. Like it is the weirdest. My brain feels so weird. Like my thinking, it's like foggy and weird and delirious. And I feel like I'm making choices that I wouldn't normally make. My chest hurts. I have this horrific cough that like is deep within, like guttural with like phlegm.
Now, obviously, with the vid, there are a lot of different symptoms. A lot of people deal with it differently. A lot of people, it ends up being a very serious thing. For me, when I had it, I think I've had it twice now. It's never been too much of an issue. I think the second time I definitely had a lingering like congestion that was very annoying. And so, I think it would be easy for me to sit here and say, oh, you're having COVID struggles because you're so fat. But I feel like that's just way too simple of it's more complex than that. And so, obviously anyone going through this, it sucks. And so I understand being frustrated with it. Does that mean that you have to film the entire thing? Not really. But I think with Amberlynn, she kind of feels that she has to, because again, like she's decided that she's going to have this whole schedule where she's filming these things that are going on. And so, it's just interesting because again, this is someone that already is struggling to move around and speak while just living. And then we're adding COVID on top of that. So, and in the live stream, she is very clear that these the symptoms are very bad, and it makes her basically not want to move at all, which again is dangerous, right? So that is, an argument of taking care of your health is very important, because these illnesses that they could be potentially life-threatening, but if you take care of yourself as much as you can, hopefully you can mitigate those things.
Throat hurts, this hurts, I have stuffy nose, runny nose, like the whole nine. But my mom is now not feeling well, so I've been checking up on her a lot, and she's been checking up on me. Hey guys, today is February 14th. It is Valentine's Day, and it also is day 6 of me having COVID. So I feel exactly how I felt yesterday, so we don't really need to give any updates on that. But I will say I have been trying really hard to like have a balance of like resting, but also like getting up and still doing things. This is why I'm so appreciative of Twinkie, because it gives me a reason to like go outside and get some fresh air. And
I definitely can understand that when it comes to having an animal, right, that you have to walk. I remember when I lived in San Diego, I lived with my brother and sister-in-law. We all, we helped pay rent. All right. I wasn't a freeloader, but we had a dog named Bailey, and I walked her a lot, and I definitely would have bad mental health days, but it helped basically being forced to be like, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to walk Bailey, because it's not fair to Bailey that I'm having a bad day doesn't mean that she has to have a bad day. You know what I mean? So I can understand that reasoning.
When I do that, this is how I be looking. So many flashbacks to when we had to wear freaking masks in public 24/7. Like, it's so weird. I am getting super just like tired and winded quicker than usual. So it's hard for me to like do anything. And like, I know I need to rest. But last time that I spent a long period of time resting in bed, I actually ended up getting walking pneumonia. This was years ago, and I'm telling you, that traumatized me. So I don't want that to happen, because for some people, COVID does turn into pneumonia. On top of that, being 500 pounds, you can lose your mobility extremely quickly.
And that's very true, right? You really can lose your mobility. And like with Amberlynn and someone that is that size, you basically have less options, right? You have less things can go wrong for you to have a serious issue, right? And that's one of the biggest things with anyone that I try and help with, like when you're trying to lose weight, is that you have to understand the position that you're in, and you have to be very realistic with yourself, and understand that like you should be very thankful for what you're able to do now, and don't take it for granted, right? Because Amberlynn herself has basically been bedbound in the past, right? She's talked about that before when she was at her highest weight, which was basically 600 pounds. I know she always talks about how she was never 600 pounds, whatever, but she was at her heaviest weight of almost 600 pounds. I'm sure there's going to be people that are like, no, she was 700 pounds at one point. Okay. But like, she was heavier at one point, right? And she was definitely very immobile. And, there's obviously the whole situation with the dangling ankle. And so I think that it is at least good that she is remembering those situations and not wanting to get back to that. I think what's frustrating for a lot of people, myself included, is like, you get so close to like, there's these issues that like, if you don't take this stuff seriously, you will be back to where you were before. But then it's like, so what you need to do is XYZ thing, but then XYZ thing doesn't happen, and then we're back here again, right? You know, the GLP-1 medication where she was taking it, and then she had a little kind of a minor inconvenience, and then, I'm not taking it anymore. And it's like, bro, come on. Like, this is something that could have helped you, you know? So it's all of those things are connected. And so I understand why people get frustrated. And I think it's, again, to give her credit, because I try my best to do that. It's good that she remembers that, and she's like, I don't want to go back there, but let's like take some serious steps forward in trying to make sure that doesn't happen, right?
So it's like I'm having to balance out, like, oh my God, even just standing here, I'm like getting hot and winded. I really just wanted to update you guys, and I hope that you guys had a great Valentine's Day. I'm like so ahead in my videos, which I love that, but having my weekly live streams has actually been really conflicting me, and I might be coming up with a different YouTube schedule. So
there you go, right? So she's talking about the double timeline, the double ALR timeline there, right? So she likes that she's doing these live streams, but she also, you know, she likes that she's, you know, ahead in these videos. But the reason, and this is a really important thing that's happening right now that I'm sure people are curious, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the ALR world, and a lot of that is people from basically ghosts of ALR past are coming out and making YouTube videos. A lot of them are people that were in previous relationships with Amberlynn or were close with Amberlynn, and you know, there's a lot of very serious accusations that are being levied against ALR, and it's very strange because we're seeing these videos that have nothing to do with these very serious accusations. You know, one of them is Beck is basically claiming, again, maybe I can make a video going in depth about this stuff, but I don't want to get this video too bogged down about it. But basically Beck is saying that there was an inheritance that they had gotten when one of their family members passed away that they claim basically ALR took, right, and used for themselves. And so people are very upset about that. If you look at the comments of this video, actually, a lot of the comments are about that, right? And so, well, if it isn't thriving Lynn, give the money back, right? Did you use Becky's inheritance for the meal prep service, right? So we won't forget about you taking Beck's inheritance. So there's all these things that are happening right now, and they're being talked about in this video that is from being filmed 2 weeks ago, right? So there's just this disconnect where it just doesn't make much sense for me. For you are currently, like, there's this stuff that's currently going on that is very serious, and then you're uploading these videos that have nothing to do with it. It just makes more sense to like talk about what's going on right now and upload that thing right now, you know? Again, like, it's just, I understand wanting to be ahead in videos, but I mean, like, what are we doing that's so important that we have to be ahead in videos? Like, I don't really understand this, but again, I'm kind of getting off track, but let's continue with this video.
But it's definitely up in the air. Like, I prefer the YouTube schedule that I have going now, and I love how ahead I am in videos, but like the live streams is just conflicting with that, and I don't want to stop the live streams because so many people are enjoying them.
It's just such a quick cutoff there. It's like she films for like 2 minutes a day, and then it's like next day, and it's like, and this is a very pixelated image. Okay, sorry.
Hey guys, so it is February 15th, and I'm actually going to the hospital. I did my little pulse ox thing, and it was 93, so that was my oxygen, but my heartbeat was 57. And if you know anything about heartbeats, that is extremely low. Like, if you're an athlete, maybe, but
I mean, for someone Amberlynn's size, and I mean that not in a mean way, that is definitely a very low heart rate. For me, it's pretty, my heart rate, it's like in the 40s a lot of times. I know, don't worry. I think it's like, I don't know. Whenever I talk about my heart rate, people are like, you have this condition and you're going to, like, you know, I've looked into it. It's okay. Right. But yeah, that's for someone that's Amberlynn's size, that's definitely very low.
I am the opposite of an athlete, and I just really feel like my brain is just like foggy and weird, and it felt like I was a little blurry-eyed, like kind of lightheaded. I don't really know what's going on, and that's like really the only reason why I checked that. And I'm just feeling extremely anxious, and I don't know if it's like those numbers making me anxious and like the weird COVID symptoms that I'm having, or if it's like my anxiety is actually what's causing those things, but that doesn't make sense. Anxiety doesn't cause a low heartbeat or a low oxygen. I don't know. but my mom said she's gonna take me to the hospital. I tried to schedule a doctor's appointment with my doctor, and literally I won't even be able to see him in 2 weeks, like 2 weeks from now. That's crazy. And usually, like, when you go to urgent care, they can't run many tests on you, and I feel like if I go in there with like an issue with my heart, they're gonna tell me they go to the ER anyways. I don't want to do this, I don't want to go, but I'm like low-key scared.
Again, I understand being scared about that situation, so there's really not much for me to say there. Obviously, again, I know the easy response is like, well, you just lose weight, and you know, again, yeah, that's not true, but you know, it seems a little too easy to just say right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys, I just came back from the hospital, and hi baby, come here. She missed your mommies, and I missed you too. Yeah. So I just came back, and I took off the little EKG thingies because they gave me an EKG and a chest x-ray, and everything came back normal, but my blood pressure is like extremely high, which is not normal for me. Oh, loving me, you're so sweet. But yeah, they did just send me home, and they weren't worried and they didn't see anything, but they said that like if my breathing does like get worse or I am more concerned, obviously, to go back. But like my brain is not the same. It does not feel okay. It feels weird, and I don't know how to explain it. It's snowing outside, and right when I got home I took her out, and she does not deal with the cold very well. No. And then I fed her too. What is it that you want from mom? I think she's worried about me, which then freaks me out because I'm like, does Twinkie know something that I don't know? But yeah, like this COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I always do not enjoy when like a dog starts acting strange. It's never a good sign.
Braid thing, like, I don't know, I've heard about it. Like my mom, we were talking about it today, and she said that like she kind of experienced the same thing, and I don't know, my brain just doesn't feel right. Like I just feel so just exhausted. It feels like I've never slept a day in my life. So I don't know if I should just like sleep or something. My body already naturally fights against sleep, and that's why like my sleeping schedule is usually always so crazy. So I feel my body like fighting against it right now. And I think it's also because like I just feel super anxious, and I'm genuinely like worried for myself because I'm just like, what is happening? Like, why do I feel this way? And I'm like, well, you have COVID, so.
Yep, that makes sense. You know, you're dealing with a medical situation.
Today is day 8 of me having COVID. So I want to show you guys. I finished the tuxedo cat Lego because I have had a lot of downtime lately. Isn't it literally so cute? It looks just like wasabi. And this was like...
I mean, this is petty, but you know, saying that you have a lot of downtime lately, I mean, like how different is it than when you, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going.
Really so much fun to make. So an update on me, I actually finally got to like physically see my test results because I was able to log into my little health thing, and it does show that like my x-ray, my EKG was completely normal. And random fact, it showed that my heart is actually in healthy limits, like the size of it. I've always been like, do I have an enlarged heart? Every time I've gotten a chest x-ray, it shows that it's normal. When me and my mom were in the waiting room yesterday, there was like a cluster of these like guys who were there because I think the day prior, they were exposed to meningitis when they were like riding along on an ambulance. I don't know the full story, but I was getting...
So we're going to skip, I'm sorry, but some of this video is just truly kind of pointless. So we're going to go ahead and skip to this this image of pine sol. Let's see what this is all about, all right? Sorry, some of the stuff, I'm sorry, I got to skip through it.
And there was no smell. Like,
so here she's talking about how before she loves the smell of pine sol. She couldn't smell it a couple days ago, and now she's trying to see if she can smell it. That's kind of where we're at now.
I put my nose in the bottle, nothing. So this has been my like smell tester. So let's do it again today. Wait, I feel like there's a little something there, but it's like...
I'm sorry, it's just the acting is so good. Wait, oh my god, there's something there. Oh my god. Like, come on, dude. You're telling me you didn't sniff that before you started filming this video? Let's be real here.
The weirdest smell in the world. Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh my God, there's a faint something. So we're making improvement because I'm telling you, this smelled like water the other day. And then because I can't taste, I have been like overdoing it on like hot sauce and stuff just to feel something in my mouth, which is so weird. Not being able to taste, but being able to feel that hot sauce actually really does hurt. So I decided to get some like jalapeno chips in hopes that maybe like, I don't know, the crunch will be satisfying.
I love the logic. The logic is so good, dude. I got jalapeno chips so I could feel something while I'm dealing with COVID. Lovely.
Maybe
Lovely.
I could feel a spice on my tongue. Like, not having your smell and your taste is the weirdest feeling in the world. But according to this, we're making improvement, and I'm very happy about that. And I have a ramen in the microwave, so I'm gonna be eating on that. I've been enjoying ramen because the broth from it has been everything. Just like that warmth has been so great. Literally, it's like a bowl of worms, like my live chat said about spaghetti. It's giving bowl of worms and warm broth. So
Bowl of worms is not how I would want to describe a food that I enjoy eating, but you know, we're all different, I guess.
I just finished my ramen and I had to share this. I literally took a bite of a red onion the other day, like an apple, and I tasted nothing, but instantly my R's, what are R's? Oh my God, my brain. But instantly my eyes, they started burning and watering, but I could not taste anything. Like I was able to literally take a bite of an onion like an apple. It was crazy weird.
That would be very strange. I think if I ever got the vid where I couldn't like taste like that, that's definitely something I would try, because that is such a weird, like, it's crazy that happens. And so I would probably do the same thing. Let's be real.
Hello. So it is February 17th and I literally just woke up because my Factor was delivered. So Factor is just like a meal delivery service, which I'm sure you guys have heard about it. I've done things like this in the past and I just feel like it's easier for me to stay on track.
I honestly think that a meal delivery service is not a bad idea. I don't have a problem with this in and of itself. I think that this could actually be something that is really helpful for anyone that's kind of in Amberlynn's position, especially as someone that, you know, cooking is probably a little bit difficult, standing up for long periods of time. If you are someone that has maybe a little bit of disposable income, because, you know, with anything, when something ends up being quote unquote easier, you're going to pay for that convenience. So with Factor, regardless of how good of a price of any of these meal delivery services are, right? Of course, you could save money by cooking yourself, but that ends up, you know, it's going to take a little bit more time. And so I don't personally have a problem with ordering these meals. I think it could be something that is incredibly, incredibly helpful, especially if you're someone that doesn't like cooking. I think with Amberlynn, obviously the thing that we have to see in the future is, will we be sticking to that? And if the past is any indication of the present, the answer is no.
And to eat better, smaller portions. I actually ordered my first box way before I got sick. So it's like, I can't even really taste anything. And these meals have to be ate within 7 days. So it's like, okay. So I'm not sponsored whatsoever, but I do have a link that you guys can click to get some of it off, like some of the money off for your first box. And just to be transparent, it'll also help me get some off. So if you guys want to click it and try it out. So it does come with recyclable like ice packs, so your food stays cool. So I want to show you guys the ones that I got.
So, you know, now she kind of just goes over the Factor meals that she gets. It, again, kind of pointless to go over. So we're going to go ahead and skip a little bit because she just goes over the meals, and I don't know. It's just not really worth it. So let's skip ahead here.
I got 2 of these immunity and turmeric shot, which is lemon, apple, ginger, honey, turmeric, and black pepper. We should probably do one of these now. So I'm going to put these all in the fridge, and they all have expiration dates, which I love. I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway because they do all expire on the 26th because they last for a week in the fridge. You are not supposed to freeze them at all.
So my advice though for anyone that orders these meals, especially if you're someone that's like definitely larger, right? And because when you are Amberlynn size, the amount of food that you can eat and actually lose weight is relatively large, right, compared to someone else. A lot of times these meal services are not marketing themselves to someone that is that large, right? Fair enough, that's fine. But the issue is that I've seen with people that I've worked with and just conversations that I've had is that a lot of times it will be started with the best intentions, but these things just do not have enough food. And so you end up eating one of the meals and you're like, bro, that was basically a snack, right? So my advice is always to add to it if you can, but obviously try and add something smart. So obviously if you are getting these meal services, the thought of cooking a bunch of extra stuff to add to it makes no sense, because why would you not just cook? So if you can, my recommendation and what I do whenever I have these meal services most of the time is I will add a bunch of like vegetables to the meal. And the easiest way to do that is just buy frozen vegetables, heat them up, and then I'd heat up the meal, and I would just basically, I'd put the frozen vegetables down in like a bowl, and I would just put the meal on top of it, and there you go. It just adds so much more volume, so you're eating for a longer period of time, but you're not adding a ton of extra calories to that meal, but you're adding a lot more volume. The way that I think of volume is a lot more time that it takes to eat the food, because like the longer it takes me to eat the food, the happier my brain is, because let's be real, I'm going to be sitting down watching a YouTube video. So if I finish the food in 2 minutes, I'm like, man, this video has so much left, right? So when I'm able to, it takes a little bit longer to eat the food, it makes it work for me. And so that would be my recommendation to Amberlynn if she asked me. Did she ask me? No. But if you're someone that's watching this that, you know, is curious about maybe doing a meal prep service, there is a piece of advice for you. Okay, let's continue.
So I haven't ate anything today, so I don't know if my taster is better than yesterday, but we will see when I try one of these. Actually, I spoke too soon. We're going to be trying it now. I've never taken one of these type of shots before. I'm a little nervous. All right, so we're going to do this shot together. Do we drink the whole thing at once? Probably. Cheers. It's a faint taste, like barely anything. Wow, I feel healthy already. So I've always heard people say that when they had COVID, like their breathing was so bad and like they got super winded and exhausted doing literally anything. I'm telling you, that is so the truth, because things that I do like every day on the day-to-day basis are so hard to do now. Like my breathing is drastically worse. Like taking out Twinkie leaves me winded, and it's triggering, and it brings me back to like really bad headspace back when I like couldn't do a lot of things. I couldn't shower, I couldn't cook, I couldn't go outside. Are you joking? Because I could not breathe. I have done a lot to get to a better spot and to get to the point where I can walk a mile. And I can walk even further than a mile. Does it take me a long time to do it? Yes. But I am capable. So feeling like because I got COVID.
So it's important, right? Like that's good, but it's important not to like rest on your laurels with that, right? So like, yeah, you've made a lot of progress. Like I think it would be not true for me to say like, oh, there hasn't been any progress made, right? Because there was definitely a period of time when Amberlynn, you know, she said it herself, and there have been other people that have said it, where she was basically bedbound. So clearly that's not happening now. But again, it's important to understand, like, you're not out of the woods yet, right? Like this, I hope, obviously, hoping is only going to do so much, but I hope that you see the situation that is going on right now and how fearful you are and how close you are to being back in that position, and that pushes you to want to make changes that are more evident, that, you know, means that you lose a little bit more weight, so you are a little bit more capable. So when something like this happens, you don't feel like you are just right back to where you were before. You know, I really do hope that you see that, and that is something that motivates you.
COVID is kind of like backtracking, like drastically. Like it definitely gets me in my head, like hardcore. As for my factor meals, I didn't eat any today because I still have food at home. I don't want to go to waste, so I was eating on that. Plus I can barely taste, so I feel like I'm not missing out on much. My mom said that she might want a few, so I might give her some for, see, I'm like, gasping for breath as I'm standing here. Oh my God. What I was trying to say was, My mom, she said that she wanted a few for her lunches because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to eat all these this week. I think starting next week, I'm actually only gonna be getting 7 a week. It's just the first box is so much cheaper, so I got 14. Also, in the beginning of this vlog, I said that I did a reaction video. I'm telling you, it took a lot of hard work. The editing was insane. And the full completed video is 1 hour and 11 minutes. I did upload it.
Yeah, I mean, they can take a while. I will say, Amberlynn, you might want to look into using OBS. Makes it a lot easier to do reaction videos, so you don't have to splice between the video and yourself. Again, this is kind of, this might not be super helpful for most people, but, you know, look into OBS. It definitely makes it easier.
I did schedule it. I did have it ready to rumble, but then last minute, I decided I am not going to be uploading that. So it was a lot of hard work, a lot of energy into one video that will not be shown to the public because I don't know.
So again, with that, right? Like it's setting yourself up for people to now speculate about what that video is, you know? So it's just like, you could just not mention it. And then you won't have people that even know that you filmed a reaction video that now is lost to the ether, right? Like, if you just didn't mention it, no one would know and there wouldn't be speculation. And it's just like, you have control over so much of the narrative. And I feel like a lot of times Amberlynn maybe doesn't see that, but it's like she sets herself up for all of this speculation that obviously will happen when she says something like that. And sometimes I do feel like she does know it, right? And she's intentionally baiting, kind of.
I feel comfortable, and it's like, if something in my gut is telling me like, Amberlynn, don't do it, then like literally don't do it. A woman's instinct is not to be messed with, I will say that. And my instinct was telling me don't do it, like while filming it, while editing it, while scheduling it. And then finally I was just like, you know what, my gut and my instinct is gonna win. But I am going to end this vlog. I love you guys so much.
So that's the video. I think that, you know, obviously there are going to be people that are speculating as to what that reaction video could be about. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that is going on, that is swirling around, you know, with her previous partner, Beck. And then I'm pretty sure Beck is planning on doing a video with another previous partner of Amberlynn. So, you know, there's just a lot of stuff that is happening right now that it's just very interesting because all of this stuff is so late, right? Like there's so much stuff that's happening right now, and Amberlynn, it's like, it feels like Amberlynn's living in this la la land of in the past, where it's like, bro, there's all this stuff that is happening right now that you're just not talking about. And like, as a YouTuber, I think, well, you could capitalize on that so much more if you're talking about the things that are happening right now than uploading these videos that are like, so it's like, people are like, bro, we've moved on from that a week ago, and now you're talking about it a week later. It's just, you know, it doesn't really make much sense. But with all that being said, let's talk a little bit about the live streams that have been happening recently. So with these live streams, they are members only, so I don't have access to them, and I'm sorry, I don't really want to spend money so I can sit there and watch Amberlynn. So I do want to shout out this channel in particular. There's a lot of different channels that are kind of doing these live stream basically recaps, but this is Salty Crab. I think the video is actually pretty good. They seem to be pretty fair. I think a lot of times I really struggle with a lot of videos and other people that are talking about Amberlynn because they can be relatively mean, and so I don't know, maybe I'm just a big snowflake, brother, but you know, they seem to be relatively benign, I guess, as far as they seem fair, I guess is the best way to put it. But they kind of recap a lot of the stuff that happens in these live streams, again, because I don't have access to the live streams, and you know, I don't want to get in trouble by watching it in a way that's not technically legal. But a lot of the stuff that they say that is happening in these live streams is just a lot of nothing. I think with Amberlynn, she wanted to do these live streams so she could have a place to be, like, you know, kind of be sheltered from the way that her comments are. But, you know, obviously there's just like the ratio of people that are very supportive of Amberlynn and the people that are maybe not as supportive or are a little bit more critical is very off, right? There's a lot more people that are critical than are supportive, and I think that she's kind of starting to realize that. It seems like one thing that Salty Crab said, and it seems that to be a lot of people are saying, is that they don't feel like these live streams are really going to last for very long, because a lot of the questions that, again, that we're seeing in the videos, in the comments on the videos, talking about Beck, talking about all of these like things that are happening now, it's like she just doesn't really want to answer them, right? So it's like there's a lot of people that are curious about actual answers, but during the live streams, it's just talking about really just like favorite color and favorite movie and like stuff that people are like, okay, I'm not here for this, right? And like you can argue, well, should you be going there for that? But like, you know, with Amberlynn, she is a very polarizing person. And so to expect to do a live stream and it just to be rainbows and butterflies and talking about, you know, nail color and stuff like that, I just don't think it's realistic. And I think that from what I'm seeing from the other channels that are talking about it, it doesn't seem like Amberlynn is really enjoying doing these live streams. I think she feels, because, you know, with the memberships, if you don't know, you have to pay for them, right? So people are paying for these memberships, so she probably feels a sort of obligation. And then especially with Amberlynn, because so many of the people that are members are not like super huge fans of Amberlynn, if she is not actually living up to the things that she said she was going to do for these memberships, people are going to be very upset. So I feel like it's kind of this prison that she built for herself, and now she feels that she almost has to live stream, but she doesn't really want to live stream, but she also kind of has to live stream because people are paying her money basically to live stream, right? And so it's this weird kind of dynamic. And just one of the biggest things that I've noticed in a lot of the videos that people are recapping is there's a lot of questions of people that might not be the nicest, or they might be a little bit, you know, critical, that just never get answered. And like, that's the majority of the stuff that people are asking. And it just ends up being focused on just random stuff. And then, you know, there's a lot of just kind of looking at your phone, which I think if you're live streaming, I think it's fine to look at your phone a little bit, but like to sit there for minutes on end looking at your phone is not the best look. But again, everyone's a little bit different with the way that they stream. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go over in this video. I'm genuinely curious what you think down in the comment section down below. If there's any other things that you want me to cover as far as the ALR lore is concerned. I think the Beck stuff, the previous relationship stuff, I think that is pretty interesting. Obviously, it's not really related to weight, so you let me know if you think that it would be worth covering. I can definitely, me and Rachel can do some more research on that and maybe have a little bit more of an opinion on it. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Again, anyone's video that we used will be linked in the description, so you can go ahead and check that out. You know, the salty crab and stuff, I think it's genuinely pretty good stuff. So check that out if you want to. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.